Okay, do you want me to put the audio on?
Place your full attention, your focus on the third eye of intuition in the center of the forehead, and draw the symbol of Om. If you like any other symbol, you can go with any symbol. The flow that is happening through me of divine clarity, or clarity taking you to the divine inside yourself, is working through my body, through my life, through my style of thinking. So because I am a Hindu, I have an affinity for Om. But you can go with any symbol. You can have Allah, you can have cross, you can have the Star of David. So you go with any symbol of God that you feel comfortable with. You go with any symbol, focus in the center of the forehead. 70% of us are going with Om. So just focus on the third, and we do it collectively, because when our eyes are closed, then the external world, in which there is a difference between you, me, us, and everyone, dissolves. It's just not there. Whether you and me are in the same room, or we are thousands of miles away, or you are, this a different time, different space, all these differences that separate us are resolved when we close our eyes and focus on the symbol of the divinity. And the symbol can be any. So we are focusing on Om, but feel free to go with any symbol. And you can even use Ameen, you can use Allah. You can, all of these are wake up alarm calls. You can have, like in a smartwatch or in a cell phone, you can have an alarm that you really like, something that is pleasant for you. Most people, even though we have smartphones, I was in some place and the old style digital phone rang up, and I saw 90% of the people checked out their cell phones, showing that that was a common thing that everyone liked, and most of us have end up like having, in spite of having all the songs, etc. A lot of us end up with that old style digital phone, because we are classical minded. So whichever system, so just like we are classical minded, we will go with the Om. But if you would like some youngster might be liking some rap song with a lot of crude words as the wake up, it's your alarm system, whatever you use. So use any symbol, any. We are just going with the classical digital call of your intention to awaken your divine and divinity inside. That was the first lesson. And the home exercise was focusing over out here in the center of the forehead and focusing on any symbol. And we go with the Om because that's our classical symbol. But feel free, just like millions of people have their own alarms, etc., customized, personalized, whatever you like, as long as it does the job. That you start awakening yourself to the divine inside yourself. So Om, your intention, Your focus on the Om in the center of the forehead. And this is the technique from Gita. But it also works because if your body is going to be a car, then think of your eyes as your windshields or your drivers or the glass in front of the driver. So where is the driver going to be? Not in the lower parts of the body, right? It's going to be behind the eyes. So it's that area which we are invoking with Om. So Om is a conditional because the divine in us cannot be defined. The things of the material world, you can say, oh, this is this and this is a candle and it is hot and this and that and it is round, and these things you can give a name and shape and form and you can define them and understand them. So the things of the world, we can name them, we can see their form, and that makes us think that we understand these things. And we understand the world that we live in because we can give each one of thing a name and this. But is it a reality? If I know you as Jean or Marina or Morgan or Natasha or Preeti or Vera, that's just your name. And if I've seen your form, okay, does that entitle me to say that I know you? No, it does not. That's like we are together taking a walk and we take a look at a tree and we say, oh, I can see that tree and the name of the tree is mango tree and it gives mango fruits. Does that tell me how deep the roots are, how photosynthesis is happening, how many people have taken shelter under this tree, how many people have benefited from the mangoes of this tree, how it is reaching out to the sun, what happens in the night? Nothing. What sort of like birds are nesting on this, etc. Who planted it, and we know nothing. But in our mind plays a game that because we can name this and we can see that as a form, so we understand it. But even that's not a reality. In contrast to this, parts of our body, each part has got a name and a form, we can name it. But how is that part functioning? No one knows what is life force. Science does not know it. The only way that we are studying science goes to study life is have repeatedly do experiments, repeating like in terms of have lightning and all those chemicals like amino acids, etc., and see if the first components of life are produced either by a meteor or by some lightning or something, and it has not been done successfully. There were some meteors that had some bacteria, but it does not prove that that's how life came to over. But we have very strong need, name, and to say that, okay, we give it a name, we see the form and say that, yes, now I understand it. And now you feel comfortable. How? You have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you are intimate and you think you know everything, and the Italians have a name for it. So we have déjà vu. Déjà vu means like I went to Italy and some parts of Italy I felt, oh my God. I said that this wall used to be red and suddenly the guide white. This is like, I'm 55 and this was 3 seconds. And the guide walked by and said, yes, this wall used to, explaining to another group, this wall used to be red in the old times, etc. So that's déjà vu. When you see something new and see, oh, it is familiar. Aprevio is something that you have this partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, and suddenly you say, what the F? Like, I don't know this person. I have no clue how this person is thinking like that, etc. And it's like you have to respect. The other person is also divine. But suddenly you see something old in a completely new manner. Just because we know the name of the person and we know the form of the person, does not mean that we know the person. Even more less, do we know who we are? But we think I have this name and I have this form. But this form has been changing as long as you live. The name is not yours. It was given to you. And different people may be calling you different names. When drunk, they might be calling you something else. Who knows? So the name keeps on changing. So in spite of having everything which is changing, our heart is always asking for a stability. That's why COVID is scaring everyone, because the whole stability is gone. 7 months ago, who could have said that the world would be in a place where countries would be locked up? Countries! Can you imagine that countries are locked up? And I do not think that is just 5%. It's in Italy, there were reports that whole houses, the old people's houses were wiped out. So the governments really understand, and they're treating it as they're managing it as much as they can, because they're also politicians, but they're also people. They don't want the responsibility of so many. So that's why we are again getting a lockdown, etc. But the point is that we don't really understand things when we name and we say that, okay, we know the form. Now, we don't understand the other person in spite of knowing the other person's name and form. The power that is inside us has neither got a name nor a form. So when we focus on Om, that undefinable power that makes my hands move, and we are all connected. The same power that is making me speak these words is the same power that is making you hear. So we are connected, and more so, your level of understanding is based on your intellect, which is just your manner of thinking. Your manner of thinking is based on your judgment of whatever has happened. This was good, this was bad. So whatever you judged it to be good or bad has created a very real prison of your thinking. And no one can get to that. You are allowed to think in whatever manner you can. God does not really interfere, or rather godliness does not interfere in that. Every person has got that right, and you have your will, you can do whatever with that level of thinking. But the universe will keep on changing. You might keep on buying lottery cards, but the universe will keep on changing to give you the spiritually right answer. So if the universe, which is also you inside, like in the deepest part of your heart, is a microscopic golden you. And inside this golden orb of you, the whole universe is there. You are in the universe and the universe is in you. But these are things which the mind cannot understand, because the mind can only understand things which it can give a name and then give a form. So the best way that we can do is give like names like Shiva, Brahma, Jesus, Aur Mazda, Allah. These are conditional names for the undefinable. And our consciousness is beyond, is not our thinking, is not our emotions which get evoked in the heart. It is not our style of thinking, which is intellect. Beyond this is a golden shining energy. And this golden shining energy has got the power inside this body that is our universe that we can control to some extent. 70% of these body organs we don't control. The heart keeps on beating, etc. But if we get excited about something, then the heart can beat faster or something. And supposing we say no to life, I don't want this, and then the stomach won't be digesting that, etc. So our body can give us respond, but we don't really control. We can't say, so stomach stop digesting, or heart stop working, or breathe stop breathing. We can't do that. So we have limited. But in this universe of our body, there is a divine energy that has got no name and no form. So we gave it the name of Shiva, Brahma, and when we invoke these images, just like if I say, and you guys would be, everyone would understand, but would also be sort of like, laughing uncomfortably. Why do people watch porno? It's just digital images, and the porno industry is 60 billion, while our industry is like the Hollywood industry is like less than 10 billion. So it's 6 times. But when you see those days, it's as if your mind gets focused, and then all those attributes of being out there as if in real time is also happening inside our body. So that's why people get addicted to those things. Even though it's just a digital image, it's not even there. Or these actors may have died long time ago, or they are not here, etc. But the mind gives it the power to that digital zeros and ones image is created, and it recreates that realities. In the same way, just when you say sugar, 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 chocolate, and we start salivating. In the same way, this undefinable, formless energy inside us, consisting just of a pure golden light. When we say Om, Amin, or Allah, it forms when we draw that. It forms, it takes up that form, and by taking up that form, the power of faith in these forms, no matter whether you believe or not, that also is there, because we have had many lives. That is why there are so many godmen. Just so that on a sidetrack, becoming a godman or becoming an energy or yoga teachers right now is if you have no jobs or real estate agents, like these are the least. Like anyone doesn't need to finish school to be a yoga teacher or energy teacher, and some of them made some money. In the Reiki ones made some money, but it just went away. So they are not able to leverage that right now to make money, all the yoga teachers. That's why it's a very, very tough world. So you need a real-time skill set. But when anyone, even if you have not finished any class, it's very easy to become a godman. You can wear any orange dress and you can start doing Om. And even if you are a fake guru, you are just scamming or conning, the power of Om is so strong that if you get people, even if you are like me or worse than me, it will work. That is the power of Om. It's not my power. I am one of the, like, even if I can say Om and get away with it, then anyone else can do and get away with it, in short. But the power of Om, when our undefinable, formless energy focuses and creates those divine energy symbols, these become keys to the higher self inside you. And by focusing on that, your undefinable consciousness, for that matter, takes that form and invokes the attributes assigned to these symbols, which is what? Golden light of clarity, so that all our thoughts, which are over out here, all the heavy thoughts, this shouldn't have happened, that shouldn't have happened, all these thoughts get blasted away with golden light from here, so that the head has no heavy thoughts. And when in our head, because our brain cells were supposed to be just working with intellect and memory, etc., but we have placed them, the brain cells have created memories or prism of memory, and we see our life as good or bad or tough or this, etc. While doesn't matter what life was. We have to see through this golden light so that we see our life only as a blessing on this planet. If someone rejected us, hurrah. If someone was friends with us, hurrah, because everything is like going up and down a roller coaster. You cannot have the fun of going down a roller coaster if you haven't gone up. So everything, but don't get attached to this, oh, I only want to be going up, or I only enjoy going down, because it's not going to. It's all a play in energy. 99.9999926 times is the amount of shunyata, zero, nothing, which that's why the Kabbalah says 99% of the world is not seen. So you can't even name it, give it a form and try to control it. It's not even seen. It's beyond senses. What we see are few particles of atoms, etc., and they are rotating, and because likes and dislikes at some point start to repel each other, so we get heaviness and hardness, etc. But it's all an illusion. 99.999 everything is just zero, is not really there, even your body. So in this world in which there is such a huge illusion, when we focus on the symbols of God, the reality that the external world is meaningless, is illusion, creates these games of separation between me and you. I am different, you are different, this is different, that was good, that was bad. These are the main games that we know, in other words, known as Maya, illusion. And everything in reality is Leela, the act or play of God. So it's all a fun and games. We are being scammed by God by making us think that, oh, we have these lives and there is only this much amount of life and this was good and this was bad. If we are on this planet, means that we are blessed, we are lucky, and we have everything that we need. And if you are dying, we are blessed and lucky. We are living, we are blessed and lucky. We are in North America, we are blessed and lucky. We are living in Russia, we are blessed and lucky. We are living in India, we have a tough life, we are blessed and lucky. Because we did not come to this planet for a comfortable life. Supposing you are born and you have written your life script, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be powerful. Well, powerful people, first of all, are living miserably. I just watched the series of Crown. Everyone, including the Queen, is like frustrated. Everyone. And they're going through, they shot beautifully and it's all going through, but everyone, the husband is cheating and the Queen is concerned that the husband is cheating and this is happening and that is happening, and the husband is like, my wife is the Queen, and everyone is complaining. And it's supposed to be like, it's well acted and directed, and that also is godliness. But powerful, etc., does not. But even if someone was to come, I want to be rich, I want to be beautiful, I want to be, these factors do not mean that the person will be loved. All the people who are good looking and young and are even like money, first of all, most of them feel miserable because everyone knows that the real currency of the universe is love. And love is there only of one form, for yourself, in the form of God. When you fall in love, it's your projection. In reality, you're falling in love with God, or rather with the godliness. One godliness is falling for the good godliness of the other person. But we see only the human factor. We see only the physical, but it's all a play, and we invest. And sometimes it's from the past. Sometimes it's from the past. That's why people click. Sometimes fast and sometimes unclick also, because our contract work is done with them. So when we focus over out here, this inexplicable force inside us, which takes any form. When you think of sweetness, the salivation starts. When you think of anything, it actually creates the same. If you think of chocolate, the same, you start to imagine, you can even imagine that you're getting it. And hypnosis is that only. And we are all in a state of hypnosis right now. That's what life is. And that's why the illusion of everything not being there while we think that it's there. And we are looking for security in form of something that will not change while everything is changing in this world. That is what Maya is. So in our third eye of intuition, as a gift from Shiva, a conditional name for infinity, which is also a part of us, and we are a part of Shiva. We are part of gods and gods are a part of us. And with our faith, when we woke, all our head, the brain cells, the memories that they keep of heaviness and this hurt me and that hurt me, they start to evaporate under the golden sunlight of this point. When that happens, automatically, when we do not have judgments of good or bad and we go beyond these things, this has a name, this has a form, and our body has a name and form, so it has got a story. When we go beyond that, our heart automatically opens. The heart of the children is open, so that's why they can laugh fearlessly. Most of us If I'll ask to love, we'll have a tough time. Oh, how can I live? And this happening and that time, it will use up all your willpower, even though we are living in North America, the most blessed materialistically of all the places. So by cleaning your heads of all the heavy thoughts is one of the best ways to open your heart, because the heart is open in children, but when they start to under the tutelage of others, they also start, this I like, this I don't like, etc., this I want, that I don't want, etc. Then the heart gets covered up with all this anger. Why am I getting this? Why am I not getting this? Why did I have this? Why does the other person have more, etc.? Doesn't matter. If you don't have it, it's good. If you have it, good. You have to think only in that terms, and only that is the way to become spiritual. Keep on blessing others. Now, from the heart, when the golden light happens, that golden light, to be maintained, to become spiritual teachers, you have to become rooted in some scripture. That scripture can be Quran, it can be Gita, it can be any holy book in which you in your previous life maybe, or in this life, have placed your trust. So it can be Bible, Gita, Quran. Take any book. And Bible, of course, is big, but you can take just the Sermon of the Mount. You can take Gita, just around 700 couplets, and become good. And this will, the third lesson is that you have to be grounded with spiritual knowledge. Now, even in the book, if you don't have the patience for the whole book, there's certain lines. So in the second chapter, the first chapter of Gita, you have to read, because it has got the Sanskrit vibrations that go with your intent to open you to welcome the divine knowledge which is flowing. That's number one. That's why you read the first chapter. Okay. Now the chapter 2 has got certain lines which I'm going to be repeating to you, and you just feel the vibration. It's from the 17th. There are tons of such lines which have got so much amount of meaning with them. But Avinashi tu tadidit yen sarmid tatmam vinasham vyayasya na kanchit kartu maharti. Know that to be indestructible, by which all that is pervaded, none can cause the destruction of that, the imperishable. And this is the definition of your consciousness, of yourself in reality. Not this body, not this mind, not this intellect, but the force of the divine living in you and living in everyone. That's why falling in love is falling in love with yourself, with the divinity inside. Now, that's a line from the scripture. So I accept them unconditionally. And when you are growing up in India, you see so many things which science cannot explain. So you're forced to become spiritual. Now, behind me is the photograph of Shanti Devi. Now, the story is like this. She was born in around 1925. Shanti Devi was born in 1925. And when she was 4 years, she started talking. She didn't talk for a long time. And then she started to talk, and she said, she was born in Delhi. And around 150 kilometers from Delhi is another city, very holy city, where Krishna is considered the legendary, the god, the form of Vishnu who gave to mankind Gita. The god Krishna's city is considered to be Mathura, around 150 kilometers from Delhi. And this is all happening 1925, and she was 4, so around 29, 30. She starts to talk, and she starts to say, "You're not my parents." And she starts to talk in the way that people in Mathura talk, and they talk in a different way than in people in Delhi. There's certain words that only they use. So, and you're not my mother, you're not my father. I have a husband, his name is Chaube. And we live on a street. My husband's family is rich and famous, and we live on a street which is called Chaube in Mathura. His name is, and she didn't name the husband's name, because Indian brides are not supposed to call out their husband's name. So, but she did say that they lived on the Chaube Street and it's her family name and they live and she lives over there. 4-year-old girl. So first of all, no one really, like the parents also, imagination, etc. Then she kept on drawing a very famous mandir, temple over there, and no one could understand because the temple that was there in Delhi was not like that, was not shaped like that. Did someone ask, how come you're drawing this particular specific type of temple? She said, no, because that's the temple where my husband's shop is and where our house was located. And this is very famous, and she named the temple. Okay. Now, when she was in she said this with some girl where she was playing over, and her father was a lawyer, and he saw that, yes, this looks like that temple. I have been over there. It's a famous Dwarkadesh. It's another name of Krishna. So he starts to take it seriously. And when she now 6th year, 7th year, she goes to a school. And in the school also, she keeps on saying, no, she acts strange. She's a small girl. She acts perfectly like every other girl. But that time she would say, no, these are not her parents. And she's from Mathura. And she would tell everyone about Mathura and all that, a city to which she has never been. And this is like 100 years ago. So it wasn't so that it's 150 kilometers. It's not something that you will just take a train for or something. Trains were there, but you had to make an effort. It wasn't, and there was no internet to check out things, etc. So she kept on saying, and her school teacher took an interest, and he wrote a letter to the Chaube family in the Chaube Street in Mathura. And that letter reached that family. And she would say, my name is Lugdi, and Lugdi from previous life, name was Lugdi, and this current name Shanti is not really my name. So the school teacher wrote a letter to Mr. Chaube, did you have a wife called Lugdi? And he said, yes, she was 25 when she died. And she had died after childbirth. She had just given her, and so now the person, Mr. Chaube, wrote a letter to this family back. Yes, these facts are true. I did have a wife. She died 1 year, 10 months, and 7 days before the birth of this girl. So if there is something you want to figure out mathematically, you can. Now this girl, Mr. Chaube had a brother who had seen this lady, looked in his. Right? So the brother went to visit this family. He met, and she recognized him immediately. You are my brother. You are my husband's brother, etc. And she greeted him by touching his feet, which is the traditional way of meeting seniors, etc. But kids would just say namaste. But she did all that, and he asked her certain questions, and she knew all the answers that she was supposed to be having known from the previous life. So the brother sent a letter. And the husband came, but he came as if it's not him, as if he is his own brother, and he came to meet with Shanti Devi. And she immediately blushed in front of him and said, oh, no, you are my husband. She recognized him. And then he took her, they spent some days as guests, etc. And he took her, and he asked her, very intimate questions, like how is it that you were pregnant when you were like this, etc. And he told her, she told him everything, including an affair that he had with the nurse and all that. And she also told about the medical procedures that had happened to her in the previous life once she had been declared dead. Complex things that a 6-year-old girl won't be understanding. Now this thing is getting more and more news coverage, etc. Finally, in around 1936, this is slowly, it's growing up and more, and because first people hadn't believed, now now articles are being written, now the family has come and the husband has come confirmed, etc. Now Mr. Mahatma Gandhi, it's 1936, he reads about this and he believes in Gita implicitly. So he is part of the government also. 15 people, and 7 of them were from the ministers from the parliament. Gandhi said that if this case is proven, then the whole humanity will get evidence that Gita is right about reincarnation, that Hindus are right and all that. So they formed a commission and they went with this girl first time. 15 parliamentary commission people went with this girl to Mathura in 1938 around. And the girl, she told them everything from the railway station. She guided them through everything, and on the way she met her her friends, etc., and she approached them, she recognized them. Then when she was inside there, she took them to the first house which had been rented, their own house. She showed to them the room. She talked in the Mathura. They tested her a lot, and she said, I had put money on this flower pot, it's gone. And the husband says, yes, I had taken it off. And then he said, you married after my death, etc. That was a promise that you made. And then he fully believed, because she told him the sexual poses that he had liked in his previous life, that she knew of. Like, that's why he was shaken, like no one else could be knowing that. So she told him intimate facts about this, so he was fully convinced. And then he would say, where is she? In the house. There used to be a well that I used to be taking a bath, and they had covered up the well, so it wasn't seen till. So a lot of all these. And then she had she told even about that what had happened after death, that she was in a small, she was like a light speck, and she felt that the universe is inside her, but she was so attached, and she again wanted to meet her husband and all that. That's why she had come back in this life. Then, like, the commission sent by Mahatma Gandhi said that they could not find any evidence to say that she was not a reincarnation. That's the way they and then some other people came and said, no, she could have been knowing about it from the teacher. And she had said that my husband is tall, fair, and he has a wart on this right cheek, etc. So people still continue to doubt, who want to know. They say, no, she did not remember certain things, etc. It could have been a trick. It's a child, and they can make the child say something, etc. And she never married in this life as Shanti Devi, just to maintain the prestige. But before her death in 1987, one of the Swedish, like, more objective atheist, very famous atheist, flew over to India, said, I'm going to be exposing this scam. And she was alive. And then he came and researched, and then he finally said, no, I also have to agree that this is one of the cases of reincarnation that is provable. Because all these people were alive till 1980. This fact was, so many photographs and so many documentaries and research was done repeatedly throughout her life on what she had known, etc., and not known, her husband and everything, and her connection with Mathura. It has been very intensively, let's say, investigated. Because if the government of India itself sent a parliamentary commission with her, and they said that they don't have any evidence to say no to her being a reincarnation. They didn't say, yes, she is a reincarnation. Even they have to be careful, but they did not find any evidence that it's not there. And they said and all those moments when she blushed in front of her husband, and then she chided him, you had an affair like this, etc. I knew about it, all those personal things. Everyone was shaken up, and then she recognized her parents who were still alive, etc. So it's very, very concrete proof that you and I have had lots of lives on this planet. So this should help you grow out of your smallness of, I have this body, I have this mind, I have this style of thinking, and these things are important, because these things are not really important. The soul power, which keeps on jumping to different lives, the fact that you have to believe in your soul power is the important thing. Everything which is in your mind, which is, I want to achieve this, I want to have a relationship, I want to have money, I want to have this, not really important. But your soul mission is to spread love in whichever way you can. In whichever way you can, spread love unconditionally. And you will find it. You will find millions of ways of spreading that. And when you feel that you have not spread enough love, then you feel that you have not carried out your mission. And then you are reborn and reborn and reborn. And you can be saying, and don't be so excited, because you can be in the spirit world. We are very, very hubris driven, overconfidently. What that means is that when we are in the, so what, I will enjoy it, like everyone thinks that Africa is a place of where it's so primitive and sun is so much, etc. I don't care. I'm a strong person. I'll manage without money. What's the relationship? Just another person in my life. I will manage without that. Let that be okay. Please add to my list of things that I want rejection in personal life. Why should, like, when we are in the spirit world, we are very overconfident. And then when we are born, oh, that guy or that girl left me, and our whole sense is shaken up. I have been rejected. So I just got rejected at work. I prayed so much with gratitude, used a lot of willpower. I used a lot of willpower, but I prayed with gratitude as much as I could. But the first is always, like these guys, they should be growing up to be accepting me. No, because always the changes are going to be for the positive. Always the changes in our life are for our spiritual growth. So no matter no matter what happens, no matter where our growth is, where our next life is, it's all going to be positive. It's always going forward. That's one of the things. But you have to have the faith that it always was, is, and will be for your spiritual benefit. That's the faith. And then you can manage everything. And everyone on the planet wants these things: love, respect, money. It's all basically money and respect, because we think that if someone else will respect us, or we will have more money, or we'll have more sex, or we'll have this more houses, or we'll have more cars or newer cars, then I will have respect of the others. Self-respect is something that if you have it, the other person's validation of that self-respect has got no value. If you have got a weak self-respect and the whole world is applauding, yay, Galia, Jean, Marina, Morgan, Natasha, Preeti, Vera, great. But inside you feel, oh shucks, I did something, I hurt someone to achieve this car or something, and it's just a toy at the end of the day. If you have that feeling, then all the respect of the world will mean nothing. And if you have nothing, but you have this knowledge that the soul is indestructible, there is reincarnation. We do jump, the soul does jump from body to body. Mind and intellect are just thoughts that have become heavy and are keeping us prisoner. Thoughts come up, and if we don't give them a judgment, they don't become our style of thinking. If they don't become our style of thinking, we are just going with the flow. This is happening, great. That is happening, great. We keep on trying, but whatever happens after our efforts, we accept it as the grace of God. And then your self-esteem is forever shining, because it's based on your faith and your belief and your knowledge that you are the indestructible soul, as mentioned in Gita. Some reason when I'm saying that, it's one thing, but when you will read that, then let those words from Gita sink into you. Let the second chapter sink into you, so that your self-esteem is, I am a divine indestructible power. And then the smallness of your personality, I want this, I want that, I want more love, I want more sex, I want more money, I want more things on the planet, I want more acknowledgement. All those things are just thoughts of the personality. The self-esteem activated in the lower part of your body, I'm going to name the exact place, in the stomach, where you absorb or don't absorb, where you assimilate or don't, where you let go or keep back. All those things which are happening in the stomach area of your life. Your total knowledge that you are the sun meant to burn yourself ruthlessly for the betterment of others. Ruthlessly, because it doesn't have any value. Only when you're shining and you're burning for others, then that life has got a value. Otherwise, we just keep on jumping to different lives, etc., and always asking the same, again the same. That's why we keep on jumping around with the same people again and again. So you have to go beyond to the next level. Just with your faith. Everyone just imagine, first of all, for the first 3 seconds, close eyes and imagine Om in the center of your forehead. Om, Om, Om. Now at a center of level of the stomach. Om Namo Krishna. Krishna, the name of Vishnu that gave us Gita. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. So that your self-esteem, the chakra of self-esteem, the most important one for you on this planet. There are 3 chakras, there are 7 chakras, but the chakra of self-esteem is the one that we have to take care of it right now. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. And with that, light up a fire of knowledge that I am not this body, mind, and intellect. I am the divine force of unconditional love with the mission to spread light. Light is also laughter and clarity. And imagine that your whole lower organs are laughing and burning, and in their burning, spreading the joy of life. Burning, but enjoying the burning of this life to spreading light and laughter to everyone on the planet. And that will activate your self-esteem so that this needy personality, I want this to be happy, I need this to be happy, I would like the other people to be doing this, I would like more of this, I would like less of that. All these things are washed out. You are fully confident and fully glad in your life as is right now. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. I'm going to be giving to each one of you for this week the homework of lighting up clarity, of lighting up, focusing on the stomach chakra, Manipur chakra it's called. It's a physical cleanup starts to happen. At over out here, the first exercise, Om at this, that's going to be a root exercise. And then opening the heart, and now you're opening your self-esteem, becoming, activating the divine power using the mantra Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. If anyway, I can use Krishna Vak, Krishnan, just say Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo. At a level of the Manipur chakra, the 3rd chakra of self-esteem and self-awareness. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. And read the first 2 chapters of Gita again, at least the 2nd chapter. Om Namo Krishna. Now, Galia, Russia, like previous life, Galia, Russia, 1940s. Jean, France, also 40s, 30s to 40s. Marina, Italy, 1870s. Morgan, Spain, 1820s. Natasha, Russia as well as Europe, 1920s. Preeti also has got France and India, and Italy, these 3 places. Vera, Israel. Oh, so you focus on these years. For Vera, it is 1920s, 1930s. Focus on these years from the past and the geographical location and you will get the clarity when you're doing Om Namah Krishna. The lesson is about reincarnation, but it's also about the indestructibility of the soul. Om Namah Krishna. Om Namah Krishna. Om Namah Krishna. Om Namah Krishna. Now, with this self-awareness light in your stomach, take the same energy just like you did to the level of your hands, and Galia will send love to whoever is having the presence, iPhone and Galia. They're going to be opening their hearts and their self-esteem and sending love to each other. Jean and Marina are going to be sending to each other. Morgan and Natasha to each other. Preeti and Vera to each other. So each has got a name, and you have got to be sending the love. Because of your self-esteem being arisen, there is a golden light in your stomach, and you take it through your heart or directly to your hands, to the palm of your hands. And the three ways of sending love are: you imagine the other person is in the palm of your hand and you're bathing them in pure love flowing from both your hands. 1. 2, you just imagine that they are laughing and smiling, their soul is laughing and smiling. And the third is you bow down your head and offer your prayers, Om Namah Krishna, to them. You send and receive, because this is a training. It's very easy to become a healer. Very difficult, as I keep on saying, to find someone who trusts you with their healing process. So all of you paired up are going to be sending and receiving love, and you are going to be seeing yourself from tomorrow at a level of soul, reactivated, rejuvenated, reborn, totally confident and fearless in this life. Om Namah Krishna. 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 Om Namah. Feel the mantra at a level of your stomach, creating the fire, removing all your past actions, etc. All your past lives and all your blocks from the past life are removed, so that you become a total instrument of spreading love. Om Namah Krishna. Om Namah Krishna. So that all irrational fears, I have enough and I don't have enough, are removed from your life. Whatever you achieve and receive in life, you will be content with that. Oh. 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 You go beyond time, space, to become one with the indestructible, eternal infinity. Oh. 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 I'm going to say infinity. Indestructible is so difficult for me to say. Oh. Oh. Become one with the infinity that you know as your own soul power. See yourself from tomorrow totally, fearlessly living for others. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. Om Namo Krishna. May all your fears in the stomach area, the area of self-esteem, may be removed with this golden light. Everyone sends love to Galia, to whoever is having the iPhone, Jean, Marina, Morgan, Natasha, Preeti, Vera. Om Namah Krishna. 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Good.